He thought it was just content. A few jokes, some pranks, and a live stream halfway across the world. But within days, he was locked in a foreign detention center begging for mercy. The worst part? Not even his own country wants him back. Vitali was once at the top of the YouTube food chain. Back in the Wild West days of the platform, he built his empire on outrageous pranks, risky stunts, and raw, in-your-face energy that blurred the line between comedy and chaos. He wasn't just chasing clout. He was clout. Millions of views, viral fame, and a reputation for being completely unpredictable. But like so many creators who burn bright and fast, Vitali didn't evolve. He escalated. When pranks stopped trending, he pivoted to IRL streaming, bringing that same reckless energy to real-life interactions with strangers in foreign countries. The goal? Shock, provoke, go viral again. And for a while it worked. But his version of content didn't come with a safety net. No script, no edits. Just a guy with a camera, pushing boundaries he didn't understand. And then he booked a one-way ticket to the Philippines. It didn't take long for things to spiral. Vitali landed in the Philippines and immediately hit the streets, live streaming every second. This wasn't sightseeing or cultural curiosity. This was him doing what he does best, poking, provoking, and pushing the line until it snapped. In one stream, he ran up to strangers with vulgar jokes, harassed women with bizarre, suggestive questions, and even mocked local customs in broken, offensive English. It was like watching a social train wreck in real time. And the whole time, he laughed like it was just another day on Twitch. But something was off. Between the chaotic behavior and slurred speech, Vitali seemed different. Paranoid, sweaty, intoxicated or worse. His own mother, who appeared on stream via call, begged him to stop, convinced he was about to be arrested. He laughed her off. "I'm not doing anything crazy, Mom. I'm just hyping up the chat." Except he was doing something crazy, and the Filipino authorities were watching. Even after being taken in by police, Vitali didn't flinch. In fact, he doubled down. At the station, surrounded by officers, he kept smirking, making faces at the camera, treating the whole thing like a joke. During a press conference held by local officials, he appeared completely unserious, laughing, cracking jokes, and trying to turn the moment into content. What he didn't realize is that in the Philippines, public humiliation of government systems isn't just offensive, it's political. And Vitali had just put himself on the radar of two of the most powerful figures in the country, President Bongbong Marcos and Secretary of Justice John Vic. The message was clear. He wasn't just a loud tourist anymore. He was now a national embarrassment, and worse, a symbol of foreign arrogance. Within days, the tone shifted from amused tolerance to hard consequences. Vitali was thrown into the notorious immigration detention center. No bail, no special treatment, no more live streams. And suddenly, the guy who once called himself the general in town was stripped of everything. No army, no chat, just a filthy cell overcrowded with men who didn't care how many subscribers he had. Vitali thought he was untouchable until he ended up in a cage. The immigration detention center where he was sent isn't just rough, it's infamous. Packed well beyond capacity, crawling with rats, no air conditioning, no access to medical care, and barely enough food to go around. Men sleep stacked shoulder to shoulder, the smell of human waste hanging thick in the air. It's a place that breaks people fast, and Vitali was no exception. Gone were the cocky jokes and forced laughs. Behind bars, he looked like a man unraveling. And behind the scenes, he was desperate. According to reports from GMA Integrated News, Vitali personally wrote a letter to Secretary Romulo, pleading for freedom, claiming his mental health was deteriorating. He begged, said the conditions were destroying him, claimed he couldn't sleep, that he was losing his mind. But in the eyes of Filipino officials, it was too little, too late. This wasn't about mental health. This was about respect. And to them, Vitali had made a mockery of their people, their laws, and their leadership. Now they were making a statement, with him as the headline. The plea for compassion didn't land the way Vitali had hoped. In Western countries, claims of deteriorating mental health might have earned him sympathy, or at least softer treatment. But in the Philippines, especially under current leadership, it only fueled more contempt. Secretary Romulo didn't mince words. He called Vitali an undesirable alien and made it clear that his apology letter wasn't going to save him. The government's response was blunt. Mental health concerns wouldn't excuse blatant disrespect. and they certainly wouldn't rewrite the consequences. To many in the Philippines, this wasn't just about one influencer acting out. It was about national pride being mocked for views. And the irony? Vitali was now begging for the same understanding he'd once mocked. This was a guy known for ridiculing weakness, throwing around macho bravado and clowning on anyone who didn't toughen up. But now, locked in a sweltering cell, withdrawing from whatever substances kept him going, and sleeping beside strangers in filth, he was the one reaching for empathy, and the people in charge weren't buying it. As Vitali's condition worsened inside the detention center, the legal machine outside kept grinding. Filipino prosecutors weren't looking to let this slide. Vitali was formally hit with 3 charges of unjust vexation, a public disturbance offense used when someone causes outrage or humiliation without resorting to violence. At first glance, it might seem like a slap on the wrist, but there's a catch. These charges carry real prison time. And when stacked, they could land him behind bars for several years. And unlike the YouTube world, here, there's no fast-forward button. This trial could drag on for 2 to 3 years, during which Vitali would remain locked away. Desperate to avoid that outcome, he allegedly tried to buy his way out. Word spread that he offered a financial settlement to the security guards he harassed on camera, bribes to get them to drop the charges, but it backfired. The guards refused the money. Whether it was pride, pressure, or principle, they wanted justice, not a payout. And that was the wake-up call. Vitali's money, his fame, his influence, none of it worked here. In a country he mocked for views, he was learning that some places don't care who you are online. Some places just want to make an example out of you. If Vitali thought the immigration detention center was bad, he hasn't seen anything yet. According to reports, if convicted, he won't just stay where he is. He'll be transferred to one of the Philippines' regular prisons. And that's a nightmare in its own category. These facilities are notoriously overcrowded, unsanitary, and violent. Cells built for 100 people are stuffed with 5 times that number. Inmates sleep packed together on concrete floors, body to body, in rooms that never cool down and never go quiet. Disease spreads fast, food is scarce, fights are frequent. It's survival of the loudest, and there's no exit until your sentence is up. And here's the twist. Even if he serves his time, he still might not be going anywhere. With no country willing to accept him, he could remain in bureaucratic limbo indefinitely, stuck in a system that doesn't know what to do with him and doesn't particularly care to fix that. The same man who once live-streamed his every move, chasing attention like it was oxygen, now sits invisible, forgotten, a warning more than a headline. And the very system he mocked, it's now shaping his future, one brutal day at a time. Vitali thought the world was his playground, that no matter where he went, no matter what he said, it would all be forgiven because he had a camera in his hand and an audience watching. But that illusion shattered the moment he crossed the wrong line in the wrong country on the wrong day. Now, he's not just a fallen YouTuber or an IRL streamer gone rogue. He's a symbol of what happens when arrogance meets reality. The joke stopped, the audience vanished, and all that's left is a man stuck in a foreign prison with no home to return to, no legal allies, and no safety net left to catch him. This wasn't just a prank gone wrong. It was a full-blown collapse, live-streamed in real time, with the whole world watching. And as the legal pressure builds and governments refuse to take him back, one thing has become painfully clear. This isn't content anymore. This is consequence.